it like we do it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. And we're finally back in the studio. Okay, guys. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City last night. So much to talk about. We have Ashley from Taste of Reality. We were hoping to have her business partner, Amani, also, but she's going to explain. I don't know. I know Amani is in Florida. Right now, I've been speaking with my family in Florida this whole time. It's complete devastation over there. So I just hope everyone's okay. But with that, smash the like button, guys. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit the notification bell for the future. And let's welcome Ashley. Hello.
Hello, my friends. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. Imani is good. I was so hoping she'd be able to join us today. I'm delusional. I am a person who, like, until something is way too real, I don't believe that it's going to be real. And she had a couple days off from her job because she's in Florida. So obviously they weren't going to work. And I was like, this is perfect. And I'm like just watching the news and seeing the devastation. And I'm like, she's not available. It's loud. The storm is terrible. She is hardly having Wi-Fi. Thankfully, her family, like a lot of family lives there. So they're all like hanging out with her mom at her mom's house. So there's a lot of people together, which is a wonderful thing. In a tragedy, they'll be fine, but like it's just the neighborhood isn't good. I saw pictures. There's a lot of flooding, cars like not like this, they're like this, like it's bad.
Yeah. So also, for those of you guys who don't know, there's over 1.9 million people in Florida right now that are out of electricity. I was getting videos last night from family in Palm Beach, and I think there was over 100 tornadoes. There was like this unfortunate, like over right in my uncle's neighborhood, there was a tornado that went through a house and like took 7 people. Like it's just, these storms are crazy, you guys. So that's why it is true. It's like, we have to take it serious. And it's one of those things that you don't think is real until it actually hits you. And you're like, oh my God, this is a lot more real than. Yeah.
But and this is just a thing about me. I'm way late to the party. I get there, but I'm way too late to realize the severity of something. And that's something I need to work on.
Well, you and me both. But okay, guys, we're going to turn this into the Salt Lake City Housewives over there because there's also devastation if you're watching the show. Not the same kind of devastation, but just shit is hitting the fan. Ashley, I got to start with you and the live chat. Last night, watching the episode, 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, like the best episode, where are we at?
I loved it. I thought it was an amazing episode. I'm obsessed with Wisconsin. Put everything together. I'm enjoying storylines. I'm going solid 8.5.
Did you mean Milwaukee?
Did I say Minnesota?
You said Wisconsin.
Oh my God. Well, at least Milwaukee is in Wisconsin, right?
Oh, then perfect. You know what's so funny? It's funny that you said that because
sorry.
No, you're fine. It's funny that Ashley just said that because last night I was joking with my family and I was calling them and I was at home and I was like, Dad, where is the Congo at? Dad, where is this? Dad, where is Prague? And he's like, you want me to ask you some questions? And I was like, no, thanks. No, I thought it was a great episode, but there were things that like shit hit the fan a little bit.
It was messy.
It was messy.
And it was, I think it was well delivered mess. I don't think any of it was contrived. Sometimes it feels like storyline, like this all felt super, super authentic and raw. And I thought it was a great episode. Did you say your rating?
I would probably give it a solid 7. There are things that I don't quite understand. You know, I heard about this MLM situation with Whitney, and I heard about the TikToker. One of my best friends here told me about everything that was going on with this TikToker. She was the one who sent it to me. And I said, okay, let's talk about this. So I shared it and tried to have a conversation about it. And in sharing it, I got a message from Whitney being like, how could you? And I was like, no, did you watch the video? She said, Bobby is in the ICU. Like, how could really I expect better from you? And I'm like, Whitney, you have to watch the video. I didn't sit there and like trash her. I'm not stupid enough to trash somebody's business. I'm not trying to get sued by anybody.
I saw your video. You literally reported that her former employee said some stuff publicly that you reported. I saw the video.
Oh, thank you.
I reported on it too. I don't believe one thing or the other. I don't have enough information to make any judgment. I told the story. You told the story.
Well, and I even asked at the end, I asked the subscribers, like the Addams family and anybody who's watching, I said, guys, this is either one of two things. There's something that could potentially be wrong here, or this is somebody who is, sharing a story who is a disgruntled former employee. And it could be, you never know. Some people, there was somebody, and I'm not going to name his name because I'm not even going to give him credit for it, but for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I think it was the season that Lisa Rinna was on. And this guy kept coming forward with more and more information saying Lisa Rinna was giving him everything. And it was just lie after lie after lie, proven to be multiple lies. And said that, they were going to meet up with Lisa, that they were going to the reunion. It was just really, it got to a point where it was so obnoxious, but sometimes people want attention. And that is what I said by the end of it. I was like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is for attention, or do you guys believe that this is really an issue?
Yeah. We've had people unfollow us, housewives, people in the Bravoverse, just reality TV stars in general, because we've put up stories that they don't want out there, but it's like it's already out there. And some of the time we'll give our opinions when we want to, but a lot of times, especially when things are like legal, we're not dumb. We're writing alleged on everything. We're writing rumor on everything. And I am not sharing my shady opinion if it could get me in a lawsuit. Thank you very much.
So we'll get back to Milwaukee now on that point. And
Milwaukee. As Heather and Wayne from Wayne's World would say.
Heather is annoying me.
Heather was annoying me this season until this episode.
See, I just find Heather to be, and I hate this because I've always been such a big Heather fan. But the more that the show goes on, the more seasons that get under the belt, it is so pre-produced on Heather's part. I read through every single part of it, which is not fun. It's not fun to see. Like, if you can cut through the bullshit, then you're like, oh, this isn't fun for the viewer. Now, if you're a viewer who doesn't know like the behind the scenes and like the things that actually go on, and you're not piecing the things together, then it makes for great TV. But she is a confessional queen. She is great with her confessionals. She lands them. She always lands the plane, and I'll give her that too.
Absolutely. She is an intelligent woman. I don't always agree with her choices. I don't always like decisions she makes, but like, these people are human. I don't like every decision my sister makes. I don't like every decision my husband makes. Like, that's part of life. I thought she was great this episode, and it's because we've got, and sorry for the portmanteau on this one for Florida, but I'm glad bad weather is back. Seeing the Laverne and Shirley package at the beginning was amazing. I loved them together, even when later in the episode, which I'm sure we'll get to the cave later, I was glad that Heather said something to Whitney about what's being said about her businesses. And moving forward, I hope that doesn't taint anything between bad weather, because the show is best when they're together, in my opinion.
Honestly, I don't think that Jen Shah is going to do 6.5 years in prison. Obviously,
no.
Her sentence has been reduced. A lot of people always ask me, have I spoken to Jen? I have not spoken to Jen. But I don't think she's going to do 6.5 years. And I think that Heather thought she was very strategic in continuing to blame the black eye on Jen when I know what actually happened. And it was easy for her because Jen's in prison. What is Jen going to say? It's Heather's word versus the people's opinion, because there's not a Jen Shah to defend what was being said. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, God, when you get out of prison, whether it's 2 seasons from now, 3 seasons from now, 4 seasons from now, I really hope they bring her back on to just address some of these things, because I'm like, Heather, you're good.
Yeah. Do you remember the old days when WeTV was where you would go for convicts on TV? Like the Love and Lock, what is it? Love After Lockup, that whole franchise. You know, we're just getting served all the prisoners here on Bravo. To be on Bravo and then to go to prison, and then for this to happen not once but twice. Well, if they have Jen back, like the fact that they had Teresa back, I get it.
Yeah.
And I am a believer, like if you commit a crime, you serve your time. Isn't that like what our justice system is? You're supposed to like recalibrate back into society. Like you shouldn't be punished for it forever. But also at the same time, does that mean you should go get a job like in your neighborhood at a deli or a Starbucks or whatever? Or is that like a TV thing? Like you've been in prison, should we have you on TV? Like that's the argument that people have.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of people who have been in prison and they come out with documentaries and things like that. And I know for a fact that Jen had multiple streamers who were trying to ink deals with her before even going into prison to tie her and lock her in to when she gets out of prison to further talk about everything that was happening. And I think that she was heavily advised not to speak on a lot of the things that were happening before she went into prison, because I think the goal is you're not going to sit there and say, I did this, this, and this, and then be like, guys, please reduce my sentence. You know what I mean?
Of course. Of course. And you know what? I actually wrote something about Teresa today at tasteofreality.com. And she only served like 1 of 4 years that she was sentenced. She served less than a year. And Anna Delvey served under 4, and she was supposed to be in, like, they don't have the room in the jails. Like there's no room in prison for these people. So they get out early, and Jen will get out early too. If she's not in there, like still committing crimes, like if she's behaving, she'll get out early.
She's going to get out early.
Of course she will.
I see RJ Davis said, Adam, is the Salty podcast on a break? I feel like I haven't seen an episode lately. Maybe I missed one. You guys, so Monica and I were talking, and we had a discussion about the fact that at first, like we just sort of agreed that I could recap the episode, and then she was going to give her opinion on my recap of the episode. I didn't actually enjoy doing that. I really was like hoping and pushing Monica to just watch the show so we could have these conversations. I do understand Monica not wanting to watch the show because there are like, you know, she is no longer on the show because the women banded together to get her kicked off the show. And I'm sure that there are triggers to that. So I know everybody wants to, or is hopeful that there is like some salacious narrative here. There's not. It was just, I was hoping to do the Salt Lake City recaps on the Salty podcast where we're both watching and dissecting it. And that is not the way that it ended up working out, which is totally okay. And I respect my friends' feelings and emotions and triggers to that show. So it's not right now. Yes, you're not going to see an episode of Salty podcast, but Monica has another great podcast called Entirely True with one of her best friends. And it's a great podcast. And so go listen to that. And if you want your daily dose of Monica, you can get it there as well. And that's it. There's not like a big story there. But
and you can listen to her narrate House of Villains every week after Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which is hysterical to me because and correct me in the chat if I'm wrong here, I don't remember House of Villains being on Bravo. It was an E show. Yeah. Then it went to Peacock, but I think because it's so big and Bravo has such a fan base and they have Bravo celebrities on it, Teresa's a huge get. They put it on after a Housewives, but with Monica after Salt Lake City is so intentional and shady, and I love it.
I love it too. It's shady, and she looks stunning when she showed up. So yeah, guys. And also somebody said, can Salty cover House of Villains then? No, there are contracts. There are things that can't be. No, you can't.
That one can't happen. Like impossible.
Yeah, that can't happen. It's like I can't have Meredith come on and recap Salt Lake City with me. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like,
even on Tamara and Teddy's podcast, Tamara
perfect.
can be there for Orange County. They have Emily, or they have, who is it? Alexia, maybe somebody's in
Yeah.
there. Not Erica Jane. I don't remember. I don't pay.
Cynthia Bailey sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
can't handle any more of Tamara Judge than I already have to deal with. So yeah, I'm good on
I
that.
had the weirdest dream about her last night.
It was a dream, not a nightmare.
No, it was a dream, and we were working, and she was my manager at a restaurant, and some guy on a bike pulled up behind me and tried robbing me. And then she told me, Tamara was like, "You need to get to work. What section are you in?" And I was telling her, "Well, Jason said I have to work at the opposite restaurant tonight, Green Lantern," which I don't even know why that was the name of the restaurant. And then I said to Tamara, I said, "Why are you here doing that? Like, I thought everything is really successful." And she's like, "I'm almost out of here." And then I woke up and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? But that was
It's
such
so
a great comparison. Yeah, it was so odd. It was such a great comparison, you saying that, because that's absolutely true. You cannot talk about these shows that you're on. And even though one is Housewives and one is House of Villains, they all fall under the NBC umbrella. And
Mhm.
while the contracts might not be identical, I'm pretty sure that they have the same like bylaws in them.
So just out of curiosity, maybe a Monica question. Is she just not allowed to talk about it at all? Or is she just making the choice that she's like drawing a boundary and just doesn't want to watch it for her own reasons?
Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
she doesn't want to watch it for her own reasons.
Okay. Okay. So that
And
podcast could technically happen if she had a change of heart. But you're saying that it's not the podcast you intended because she's not watching the show.
right, which I
Okay.
completely respect.
Okay, I totally get it. I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page.
Yeah, no. I completely respect why she does not want to watch the show, and I could see where, it's almost like, do you know Alexandra Cooper from
Of
Call Her
course.
Daddy?
Of
Like,
course.
can you imagine? Like, I'm sure Sophia, the one that she got into the riff with, is like every time she sees like the Unwell tour and stuff like that, she's like, this bitch, she got $160 million deal. And like, I'm not listening to that shit. I'm not watching it. And like, they had that rift, and
Right.
Sophia does great, but Alexandra
Is
Cooper obviously has inked over $100 million in podcast deals. And
I
yeah,
mean, she's Alex Cooper. I mean, she's daddy.
she's daddy. Right. So it's like, that's what I was trying to say, because I know I've gotten so many questions about it. So I think that that's good to just put that out there for you guys. But getting back to Milwaukee, everyone, there were a few key points here in this episode that really irked me. Like, where do you want to start, Ashley?
Um, let's start with a person, maybe. Kind of dissect that, or do you want to start with a scene?
No, we can start with a person.
Okay, let's talk about Meredith and Lisa. I love that they're back together, but there's a lot of drama right now because of the events. One group went to the Miller Caves, which was riveting,
I thought that
and
was
the
really
other
cool.
ones went and did the curling. I love that Monica, or what did I just say, Monica? Meredith. I'm so glad that Meredith and Lisa are back together. But like, it was so weird to me seeing Lisa go off course from the rest of the group and bring Brittany and Maylee with her. Like, what is that? Like, who are these people friends with? Like, I don't believe that there is any real connection between Brittany
Maylee.
and Heather and Maylee and Whitney. Like, none of this makes sense.
There's no connection, you guys.
I hate that. That drives me crazy.
Monica made a great point, and I truly, and this is why, like, I love talking with her about the show, because she made a good point of Brittany and Maylee and Bronwyn, bringing them into the group. Maylee, especially, and Brittany are supposed to be friends with Heather and Whitney. Heather, of course, is going to like somebody like Brittany coming on, because like she said, she's like a weak little deer serving them to the lions. And,
Mhm,
it's not somebody who's really going to come in and just be able to nail it to you. And
mhm,
Maylee is so sweet, and she's gorgeous, and she has this beautiful family. But again, she's not going to be like a big explosive personality that's going to hold your feet to the fire. And I don't even
mhm.
think that they thought Bronwyn was going to be able to hold her own, which she absolutely is.
Bronwyn has come in like a wrecking ball, and I people say I am too far up Bronwyn's backside, but you know what? If that's where I am, that's where I am. I think she is delivering on every single level. She understands the assignment. Like, I don't think a housewife has understood a new person coming into an established franchise. This is how you do it, as my Montel Jordan would say.
And like you said too, it just proves that they weren't real friends with the group, that like the people that they were introduced by. My favorite example, only because they're the ones who ended up spilling this, was Leah McSweeney and Ebony K. Williams were never real friends. And then finally, once the show, everything happened, Ebony was like, I didn't know that bitch. And I'm like, what? This is like, she's like, I didn't know her. This was their way of like putting us together. And same thing for them. They're trying to make it work, which you don't want the fans to know. But sometimes when it's like this, it's just so obvious, because if it was my best friend or one of my good friends who was throwing an event, invited me on a trip, and all of a sudden, you know, like one of the random people in our group was like, I'm so annoyed right now, I'm not going to go, and I'm going to put my like foot down, and I don't like the friend that we're on this trip with who planned this trip. So do you want to come with me? I'd be like, fuck no, that's my friend. That's my friend. No, like, sorry, if you don't know, then do your own thing. I don't care. Whitney is my friend. That is not what happened.
No, and at least like if you were in a place of like, I don't want this person to feel isolated, I don't want them to feel by themselves. Like if that was their like schema to go with Lisa rather than the group, they at least owed them a text, a conversation, a quick walk by saying, she's going to be alone. I don't want that to happen. I'm going to go with her. I'm so sorry. But like the fact that they just like literally ghosted them while going to a cavernous beer hut that's haunted. The irony of this episode was amazing. I enjoyed this episode on so many levels.
Yeah, well, and then Meredith telling Lisa Barlow, because they agreed to be transparent with each other. One, Whitney and Angie being surprised, like, why is Lisa not coming? What, unless you told her what we told you last night? It's like, no, you guys know that's part of the job. You told her on camera. She's got to tell her. She's got to bring this back. She's going to bring this back. And you guys know she's going to bring this back. And you knew what you were trying to do. But I love me some Meredith Marks. And I really 1,000,000% agree with Meredith in the sense that, like, yes, you're trying to cause this rift, but there's nothing new here. So if there's nothing new and we decided to move forward, there's nothing that I can't stand more than somebody who literally, it's like you keep beating the dead horse. Like, somebody call PETA, because it's like, you know, we're just going to keep on and keep on. It's like if you're in a relationship, Jason and I get into an argument because I accidentally left the refrigerator door open, and we're like, you know what? I'll never do it again. And then later, I accidentally parked my car halfway on the grass, halfway on the driveway. And he's like, not only do you do that, but you also left your refrigerator door open, and it's so annoying. And I'm like, no, that's old news. We agreed to let that one go. You know?
Yeah.
Right?
You can't, if you're going to let something go, you have to let it go. And if it's a big enough deal to you where you can't let it go, the relationship can't move forward, because you can't like resent somebody forever for something.
Yeah.
You have to move on or not. It's okay not to.
Well, but if Meredith agreed and Lisa agreed, you know, like, Lisa said some really horrible things about Meredith.
Horrible. It was amazing.
I mean, and also Jen Shaw said some horrible things, or somebody from her camp on Twitter said horrible things about Brooks. And she was able to have those conversations and be like, okay, let's put this behind us and move forward. And if something else comes up, yeah, then maybe you're messing with the wrong bitch. But for right now, I'm agreeing as a woman and as an adult to move forward. And I love that she commits to that.
Yep. I'm with you 100% on that.
And for Whitney and Angie, what is the motive here?
I don't know. I don't understand a lot of what's happening right now with a couple of the storylines. Like, yeah, that one, I don't know. I'm getting a lot from Whitney this year, and a lot of it's confusing me. Like, Whitney and I aren't in a great place at the moment. I'm happy that she and Heather are back together, and again, she's dealing with so much right now. Like, to drag her for any of the stupid petty stuff that's happening on the show when her daughter literally couldn't breathe feels so like ridiculous. Like,
Right.
I've thought of Bobby every single day. Like, when you can't breathe, like those asthmatic issues, like that's terrifying.
It's terrifying. And she's still a mom and a person at the end of the day. So it is, it's a fine line between a show and something that's, like we call it real reality TV, right?
Mhm.
Like it's real, but what's real is her
Right.
daughter,
Well,
not
and of course, last night she was supposed to be on Watch What Happens Live, but of course she canceled, duh. But the fact that Mary M. Cosby showed the F up. She got on a plane in her outfit. She went right on into that Watch What Happens Live studio. There has been a renaissance of the emancipation of Mary M. Cosby. This woman has showed up. She has clocked in. She has delivered. Even on Watch What Happens Live. So impressed with Mary this year. And I understand people's problem with her, and I have issues also. But as a TV character, if you just isolate what she brings to the show, her weirdness, her wackiness, the eccentricity, I've always liked her. And I feel that people are finally starting to see what I've seen since day one.
right. And I think that there were probably heavy conversations, whether it came from Andy Cohen or Bravo, the producers. Obviously, there were multiple conversations with Mary saying, like, we love you on the show. We think that you add a lot to the show, but you need to show up for the show. You
Mhm.
don't get to just not participate, not do things. So the ball is in your court. I love that she decided, okay, I want to commit. I want to be a part of the group.
Mhm.
And it's just so much more fun and so much more enjoyable to watch Mary this season than I think any other season that we've seen her in the past.
Absolutely. Her bringing up Dahmer again.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
fucking Dahmer. Like, what the fuck?
she is everything. She is so out of touch. And that is exactly what I like to see in a housewife. I want money. I want wacky. I'm here existing on Earth. I don't know where you are, but good for you.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Now we get to the cave
Oh
and
my God, the cave. Bravo, Milwaukee. Bravo.
Milwaukee.
Are you not
Um,
into the cave?
I love the cave.
Okay, good. The cave
I
was
love the cave.
everything to me. Like, I'm planning a trip to Milwaukee right now, for the record.
I'm not a beer person. I
Oh,
hate beer. But maybe that's because I've never had a beer that I liked, and maybe I didn't realize there was a champagne of beers. And in Heather Dubrow fashion, I love me some champagne. I will drink like Vouv and I'll drink La Marca. I don't care, but whatever. Like champagne is my ish. Beer, I'm like, get that away from me.
okay.
But
Me, on
okay,
the other hand, I drink like a frat boy. I love beer. I love craft beer. I went to UNLV for my undergrad, and there's a class in a group called Brewmasters. Like, this is an actual college course in Vegas, go figure. But you learn how to make beer. You go through all the processes. You learn about the barreling, everything, mixing the yeast and all the hops and all the good stuff. Like, beer is my thing. I love it. And then when they came out with cheese,
I didn't
oh,
even know that you pair beer with cheese.
yes, yes. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Brittany Cartwright. I'm sorry to Mama. Beer and cheese are two of my favorite things. Their beer cheese was not it on any level. But everything about that cave experience, then you're going to tell me it's haunted? Like, I'm literally packing my bag right now. I'm going to ask them if I can stay in it like an Airbnb. I'll bring like a hoodie. I'll be like a housewife and bring like a fur. Like, I just want to live in that cave.
See, and I think too that, they added one more soul to that haunted cave because I think Whitney's left her body when Heather told her about the Alibaba of it. And it was, this is what's being said. It's being said about your business that you are taking designs from Alibaba and selling them as if they're your own and making it sound like you've put a lot of thought into them and all of the things, right?
Mhm.
Well, Whitney was like, She made a couple statements. One, it's not like Meredith dives down in the ocean and gets her own caviar. She's like, these are carefully curated and sourced.
Mhm.
If you ask Dana Wilkie, who was the first one, they keep on talking about the social media person who ended up sharing this.
Oh,
It was Dishing Drama with Dana Wilkie.
25,000.
25,000, and she did it on her Patreon. And
Wow.
this story is going to unfold more, and I'll be able to tell you guys more as the episodes come. But when she did this, she also made a point, I believe, to note that on the website, it did not say at the time carefully curated by or whatever. But after she found out that this story was coming up on the show, then it changed. That's the story. I don't know if
Um,
that's true or not. But at the end of the day, I think Meredith does have a point. Meredith designs her jewelry,
mhm,
puts a lot of thought into the jewelry. Um, and then you have this where it's like kind of like I'm slapping my name on somebody else's product is what it
mhm.
comes off like. And she's what are your thoughts here? Where's your head at? Like is this, can you see why this is being talked about, or do you think it's stupid? Like, just let her source her Alibaba jewelry and curate Alibaba jewelry and put it out there and call it Prism. Like, I'm just curious. Like, what do people think?
I think Meredith needs a bath because this is dirty and I love it. I love this for her. I don't love this for Whitney. It sucks for her, but Meredith has an assignment and she is committed to it. Her saying, if Whitney would have just come to me, is the most condescending thing she could have possibly said. Like, there was so much shade laced in that. Like, I'm the expert. If you would have just come to me, this wouldn't have happened. I loved it. But I understand where Whitney is like, if you knew some, I'm a believer. I think Meredith should have said something to Whitney. If she saw it, no matter what their relationship is, she should have just gone straight to her.
But then would that have been a great Housewives show?
But like, I think it would have been because we still have the conflict. We're just missing the middleman. I wish there was less, like, I heard from this person that you said, and then this person said that to somebody else. Like, I just wish, and that's why I like Bronwyn. She's just pulling these B words together and making everybody hash it out. I like that personally. I'd rather not deal with the middleman, but still have we're going to have this out. We want the resolution, but like, I'm just sick of the game of telephone.
Yeah, I could see that. And were you seeing like the tweets last night from, or the X's or whatever you want to call them, from Meredith about Whitney?
No, what'd she say?
Oh my God, she went in. I don't have them, but
Oh,
you got
okay.
it.
I'll follow up on that though. I'm very
Yeah,
curious.
yeah.
Well,
It
those
was,
girls, I love the Salt Lake City girls for getting messy on social media before and after the episodes. Like, bring it on. As long as it doesn't involve a spoiler, I really enjoy the mess.
what was the word that when Whitney ended up sharing another necklace at the Harley Davidson Museum, and she's like, well, I wanted to share this with you guys until you guys started to talk about my business. And this was, what did she say? I don't know if she said it was original or if it was her design or if it was, and I'm like,
Ooh.
oh, if people can prove
Ooh.
that there's stock photos, you gotta let this one go.
Oh my
You,
God. Well,
you
it's just wild. Like, this is insane because of what you've said on this show, up in Adam before, that you're involved somehow in some misdoings because there's two lawsuits against her businesses. There are lawsuits against Soul People, which was Whitney, it was Iris and Bo, then rebranded to Whitney Rose Beauty, and now is Soul People. They're having some legal issues. And then there's this whole other one with Prism too. They're not affiliated businesses, I don't think, are they? They both are Whitney's, but like, one has nothing to do with the other as far as I understand.
Oh, I'm not sure. Wait, what's the lawsuit with Prism?
With Prism, is it, or
Yeah.
like maybe not lawsuit, but the drama as far as like the
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
like,
just
I don't.
saying, like, yeah, if I said lawsuit, excuse me, that was a misspeak. But just the fact that like she has two businesses and both of them are in the hot seat, like, and I am so tired of these housewives businesses. When you come in as an established business person is one thing. Rebecca Minkoff coming into Roni as a businesswoman makes sense. All these real housewives having skincare lines, jewelry lines, X, Y, and Z that have been created since the show, I automatically don't take it serious because we know you're using your fame. I'm not blaming you. Like I would do the same thing. The hustle is there and I'm not mad at it, but I don't honor maybe the legitimacy or the intent, maybe not legitimacy, the intent behind the business because you know you're going to be making coin off of it. Whereas somebody who has the established business beforehand, the Kodo insurances, that's because Vicky Gunvalson is passionate about insurance. And that's the
Legitimately.
business I like to see, not these like, I'm a housewife, now I have a platform for this and this, and now I'm going to carefully curate, which like,
I'm doing a toaster, Sonia Morgan.
oh, Sonia. Oh, Sonia, revolutionary. You know, I really thought she was going to be the Elon Musk of toasters.
So no, and I get what you're saying too. A couple things can be true at the same time, guys. Also, by the way, our power is going in and out with things, so just want to let you know. But her company, one company with this TikToker is claiming that there is a whole MLM happening, right? This is the claim. Now,
Right.
I want to make sure that people know an MLM is not illegal.
No, it's not.
It's frowned upon, not illegal. That doesn't mean that
Absolutely
there's
right.
something illegal happening. Now, her whole story with being invited on this trip and not getting her money back, and I don't know if there's any truth to it or what the whole situation is with that. And I'm sure unless the girl gets like a cease and desist, I'm sure she's going to keep talking. But then over here with the curating products and all of that, yeah, if you're saying you're curating products, it doesn't come off as authentic or original, but also not illegal. Not illegal. Alibaba, you could go on. I could literally go get a plunger and put Up and Atom on it and be like, hey guys, anytime something goes wrong with your toilet, use my face to fix it. You know?
Oh my God.
And I'm not the one who came up with the plunger, but I can slap my name on it. I can, change the color of it. It'll be the same plunger. I could literally be like, anybody who's really a part of the Addams family, get your own chicken nugget.
I would buy that.
And I could just make the little eyes Up and Atom logos. Like I could do whatever. And that it seems to be what we're dealing with here. But again, not illegal. It's just you kind of feel silly because it's like I think what the issue here is it didn't seem like it was being told like that when the launch happened. It was more of like I put my heart and soul into this business and really, really did the work. And I hope you guys love it as much as I do. And I think people are like, wait, what the fuck? What was your heart and soul into like looking up pieces on Alibaba and then saying that you carefully curated it and used the same exact stock photos? Like that's, of course, people are going to trash you for that.
That's shady. And somebody, I saw a picture and it could have been photoshopped. You never know with AI these days, but somebody had one of the pieces of jewelry, a ring, and their finger was green after wearing it.
But also too, by the way, that could also be fake. That could be fake.
It could be fake. It could have been an AI photo. Absolutely.
Or it could have been somebody who just like took anything.
Anybody, they could have worn, you're exactly right. They could have worn any ring and said that it was this ring that did it. But I'm just saying it sucks for Whitney. Maybe if there's smoke, there's fire. Maybe she is just having a really bad time right now. But there is a lot of smoke around her businesses. Oh, I hope your reception's okay, Adam.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
It's just a thing that's connected to it's fine. But no, so then even with the Whitney stuff, the other part that I wanted to say about this is that for her in the business, like going on and saying that she doesn't get her stuff from Alibaba, but then the stock photos coming out, then it's like, is there a lie here? Is somebody not telling the truth? Like what did you make of that?
Somebody's not telling the truth. Is she not knowing of where her jewelry is being sourced? Like, how involved is she in this stuff? Like, when you're not the one creating it and you're only like simply curating, basically it's like going through a catalog and just picking out what you would buy and putting those together for somebody to purchase. That's not the same thing as making jewelry. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of gray that I don't quite understand about how the jewelry is. I mean, none of us really understand. Is it from Alibaba? Is it not? Like, how much is she charging up? Like they said, like 10, 20 times the amount. Like, that's just really predatory if that's true. Like, that's predatory and bad business. I even watch like business shows. I watched that show recently with Gordon Ramsay and Lisa Vanderpump. It was a cooking show.
Oh yeah,
They
that
were
was
young
good.
entrepreneurs, and I thought it was really interesting. And one of the challenges, they had to create a product and then price it. And one of the people was curating things, and it became very, very sticky as far as like what was made, what was curated, them putting names on things. It's complicated.
Well, Jill Smith said, yes, Adam, when we buy something at the store, do we assume that the store made it? Nope. A business sells products that originated elsewhere. Well, fair. If you go to a grocery store or you go to Sephora, yes, they bring in other people's products and they source the best products to sell in their stores. But you know that. And there's full transparency on that. There's full transparency on where it came from. And I think that's the question here. But then this is what happened. And Jason gets mad because I always joke with him and I say, I blame you for this drama.
Oh, Jason, we love you.
We love you, Jason. But what happened was when this all came out on Patreon from Dana Wilkie, and I can only give you guys so much, and then as it comes out, I'll share more. But when this all came out from Dana Wilkie, and Dana Wilkie found out about the Alibaba stuff, she put it on her Patreon. When that happened, Jason talks to Dana Wilkie all the time. I talk to Dana Wilkie, right? We're friends. When that happened, Jason said to me, did you see Dana Wilkie's Patreon? Like, did you see about like what was going on? Like saying that Whitney Rose took her stuff from Alibaba. And I was like, I don't think that would be true. So I called Whitney. And this was right before they started filming. So she was aware this was coming out. But this was right before filming. And I called Whitney and I said, hey, like just as a friend, I don't know if you know this, but it's going to come out. People are claiming that you source your jewelry on Alibaba. And I don't think that could be, there's no way. And she's like, that's not true, Adam. And I said, okay, that's not true. Then from that point, I was talking with another one of the housewives because I talked to a lot of them. And I was like, oh my God, get this. Like this came out and like, that's not odd for me to do. Like we talk Bravo drama and I talk it with multiple housewives. And I said, can you believe this? And I even asked Meredith, I'm like, can you believe that this is being said? Meredith said, there is no way, Adam, that this is true. This is what Meredith said to me. She's like, there's no way that this is true. She's like, that's not like, you would have to be like silly in the head to think that you would be able to do this without being transparent about that. And people wouldn't find it out, especially being in Bravo and like the Bravo fans find out everything. You have an affair. You source your stuff from places, things come from different, countries and people aren't supporting things, then yes, Bravo fans will find it out. So Meredith, at this time, when I talked to her, there is no way, she didn't believe a second of it. And Whitney told me that it wasn't true. So from that,
then I believe it's not true. I have no reason to call people liars.
Then the stock photos came out. And then, Dana Wilkie talked about the website. And at the bottom of the website, after I had a conversation with Whitney, and this was about to come out on camera, then it was being said that it changed at the bottom of the website to say carefully curated by. So then that was a way to, and this is what they're claiming, not what I'm claiming, that was a way to allegedly like cover it up, like kind of cover your ass to be like, no, this has been full transparency the whole time. We didn't say Alibaba, but we did say carefully curated.
Right. Ooh. Well, it just, I hope Meredith is right. And I love that even though Meredith and Whitney might not be getting along right now, this might not be the greatest point in their relationship, but the fact that she can use her logic and say, you know what, this is not Whitney. I'm not a fan of her right now, but that's just not her. I love seeing that. Like being able to be an adult when it comes to people's quote unquote businesses. Yeah. I respect that. And Meredith is a business owner, and she's been a business owner for a long time, way before Housewives.
Right. And she did say that. So I think that I agree with you. It's like, I have respect for that too, because, you know, like she could have easily have been like, I don't know, Adam, what do you think? And alluded to there being something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happened. So I'm gonna just tell the truth on that.
Yeah.
And stick up for Meredith and that. But then where this goes left, and you guys will see, is after this, we had a conversation, Whitney and I. Whitney was under the impression that it could potentially be somebody in the cast who was feeding Dana Wilkie things.
Oh.
And I did the digging for that. And I asked around about this. What are you taking notes on my notes?
I am actually. I'm time stamping this. But and I'm always at work, honey. I am always on the job.
No, I love it. So she believed that it could potentially be somebody on the cast. And once I started hearing accusations of Lisa Barlow potentially like having these burner accounts, like these Instagram accounts and these fake profiles, and also being messy behind the scenes, which this is something that I heard from Jen Shaw. I heard it from multiple people. And Lisa Barlow says it's not true. So like what you said, if she's saying it's not true, I don't know Lisa Barlow to be a liar. So I'm not going to just sit there and say like, oh, well, you know, I don't believe this either. Or I believe it.
Jax Taylor.
What?
These people, they're not Jax Taylor. It's not like these people are compulsive liars to where we're going to be like, oh, Lisa said it, so I don't believe it. Like Lisa Barlow said it. We have no reason not to believe it at this point. Until we're proven wrong, we have no reason not to believe it.
Right. And so I said, I'm going to do the digging. And then I started talking to other people. And I did say to Whitney after having a conversation, which you guys will see as this plays out, Whitney really truly believed this has to be Lisa Barlow who is planting these stories to Dana Wilkie. Wow. And I said, well, if you believe this, I'm not friends with Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow, and like, I don't know her like that. You know, she did send me Vita Tequila in Salt Lake City to my hotel, but I've never gone out with her. We've never had real conversations. She came on my channel one time and she was always nice to me. BravoCon, I didn't have a great experience with the ladies, but I've told you guys that. And Whitney also stuck up for me at BravoCon. And when the ladies like Heather and all of them got mad at me for saying something about Monica, which I hadn't even met Monica yet at BravoCon when this happened, Whitney stuck up for me. And then all of the ladies got up and walked out of the room and left Whitney high and dry. Ooh. So when Whitney was telling me that she believes that it could be one of these women, I was like, oh yeah, I could see why you would think that. I believe then it could be one of these women, but I'll ask and I'll look into it. And then you guys will see how this unfolds. So much fun.
Wow. The Dana Wilkie of it all, and is it the Lisa Barlow of it all? But more importantly, the Up and Adam aspect is killing me and the rest of the Addams family. I know everyone is so excited for this. I just love that we're going to get like, number one, I know you don't even know if you're going to get any airtime, but the fact that like, you know, the story and we'll be able to just hear like what was actually happening without the edit. Who was blaming the edit somewhere as of late? And I was just like, it was Tamra. Tamra went on a podcast or did something and she was like, yeah, well, the edit, they didn't include this. And I was just like, are we still doing that? Like everything happens. And I just like, and to Tamra's point, it might look weird because she said something happened that triggered her behavior and we missed that we missed a piece of that puzzle. So it looked like she was being wild or whatever. I understand that. So if we get that covered with you, I think that's going to be very valuable as somebody who likes to know how things work.
Well, and people wanted to know, did I go to Salt Lake City and film in person? No, I was offered to go to Salt Lake City and film in person and have these conversations. I did not go. I did film a phone call, and the phone call will make all of the sense. It will make everything make sense. And I'm not going to blame the edit. It's me
No.
on a phone call. You can't unless somebody cuts things out, takes pieces, and you can figure out how to make what I said into something that I didn't said. It
Right.
didn't say. But the great thing is when I filmed this phone call, Jason was next to me recording me filming the phone call. So
Amazing.
I
Oh,
have you can't really you can't pin something on me here.
right. No,
You know
you
what I mean?
covered yourself because Franken editing is a thing. And they'll take things and then like the mouths won't move, but they'll just have like B-roll in the background, or they'll shoot something else and you just hear like a clip of somebody speaking. And the
Yeah.
speaking can be from a different day, a different season, even. It's amazing what they can do in editing. So
I
yeah,
agree.
Jason having you filming that BTS is your insurance policy. He is your Kodo insurance.
He is my Kodo insurance. But we're not done there. We're going to move on from that, you guys, because there was another little rift, and it's right here. Angie Katsanevis she's giving me Heather Gay in this moment. She said, listen, Lisa Barlow, you threw a drink and you didn't even break the glass, you moron. She's like giving her shit for this. You see the social media and all of this other stuff. And we all like a good Housewives moment. It just can't feel too contrived. And then Angie knew that because she was there when she threw the drink, knew that she did that. And she's like, I'm going to raise you one by kicking this chair back. And I'm like, this man who is Harley Davidson royalty shut down his museum for your asses, and you literally kick over his chair, which I'm sure you can afford, right? That's fine. But just the disrespect of kicking over the
Mhm.
chair, but then also not even just the disrespect of kicking over the chair, but the moment that you were looking to get out of it. And then Maylee, stop, don't pick up after her. Don't pick up the chair. Let her pick up her own chair. Let her look like an idiot when she has to go turn around and pick it up and put it back down and have that moment too. But stop.
I wouldn't have minded her going to sit down in the chair after she kicked it and seeing her fall to the ground, as long as she would be safe. I think that would have been hilarious. The fact that these women were all like black, leather clad, having these ridiculous fights at this table, like you said, the disrespect after this family, this historic American family, gave you a damn history lesson, closed down for you to have this dinner. She was like a bull. She stood up and treated that like a bull. And as much as I was like, okay, that's ridiculous, the fact that she sat down, said she was upset, she didn't throw anything, nothing was tossed. I don't know if you guys caught it, but Whitney did pull her food from out in front of her.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
her entree. I thought that was so funny.
She's like, let's not do this,
Yeah,
please, because
we're
they got
gonna
us in.
draw a line here. I was
Yeah,
really glad that Angie left it at the kicking of the chair. I don't like violence, and a lot of other franchises over the years, we would have seen this escalate to something else, and I'm so glad it didn't.
exactly. Exactly. And also, you can clearly tell that Angie and Whitney are on the same team here. I don't think that
Mhm.
that's a surprise. And for those of you guys who don't know, back in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills days, Lisa Vanderpump and Brandy Glanville would film scenes, and so would Kyle Richards with Lisa Vanderpump. And when they would film the scenes, after the scenes, they would try to figure out what are they going to do in the next scene. Like, oh, we all have to go to dinner, so this is what we do. We bring out the tabloid. We make a moment. And you can clearly tell in this that Angie and Whitney are having these conversations to make moments. And especially even with talking to Lisa Barlow or to Meredith about Lisa Barlow, we can see what's going on. But I also don't think that they're the only two guilty of this.
Right. I would agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I don't feel like I feel like Angie is very like funny and intentional when she creates moments, i.e. the scroll, i.e. her wearing the entire like Greek flag to the basketball game.
yeah.
Obviously that's pre-planned. But this felt, and those are obviously pre-planned. You have to plan what you're going to wear. You have to plan some of these things. But this, like, was like, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to kick the chair. It looked rehearsed. I don't like that at
yeah.
all.
Yeah, exactly. It looked rehearsed. It gives me Noella Bergner walking down to the creek and screaming her lungs out. That's what it gave me here. But then
less annoying in this case for me.
I didn't think this next one was rehearsed. I did and I didn't.
Okay.
I think I was talking to my friend Lori today, and she's a great friend here in Charleston, and she said, "Do you think that Heather Gay brought on Brittany because she knew she wouldn't be able to handle herself with these ladies? And who cares about the Osmond, like whatever the storyline is at this point? And we get it, there's like nostalgia behind it, but like, do you think that she was brought on because Heather knew and was confident that one, the ladies would eat her alive and it would be great TV, but also two, she wasn't a match for Heather?" And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because Monica was uncontrollable.
Right.
Jen Shaw, uncontrollable. Mary Cosby's uncontrollable. She just doesn't have the time of day for you.
Yeah.
But you like, I thought about it and I'm like, huh. And then Brittany, this is the part where I felt it was rehearsed. When Brittany sat down and she said, ding, 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 guys, I have another announcement. I'm like, oh, no.
Mary rolling her eyes was all of us.
It was totally rehearsed. But then when she went in on Bronwyn, I didn't like that. I'm like, you're getting mad and you're getting defensive because you sound silly. And now you're attacking this woman where there's not any like salacious narrative going on with her husband. Her husband's older than her, sure, but leave his ass alone. He didn't do anything.
He's not involved in the mess. Like, we saw a picture of him. This guy, Jared Osborne, is going to be on the show. This guy, as I think it was Heather who said, like, he walks into a room and leads with, he's an Osborne. Like, he wants this. He even went on Instagram, which you read to me on one of the lives, I think last week. I hadn't seen it. You read the Instagram story he had written about Brittany. And I was so shocked just hearing it. My first instinct was, oh my God, I can't believe he's spilling all the tea. But then after it sat with me, I was like, what kind of man does that to another human publicly? Like a woman that he allegedly cared about. Like, that says more about him than her. My point is, she's the messy one. Her relationship is messy. Her trying to bring Bronwyn into that, whose husband is absolutely no part of this. He's not a part of the public eye. Like, he is not in the media at all. She was reaching. Brittany looks so bad. Like, I don't know if she's had a redeemable second on this season. Like, this has not been good for her.
Well, and then also to add to this really quick, with sitting at the table and talking all of the shit that she's talking about this relationship and the timeline of it and how old, or not the timeline, but how the age difference. It's like you're offending multiple people at this table. Mm-hmm. You have Whitney Rose, who has a much older husband. Mary Cosby married her step grandfather, much older. You know what I mean? He used to lay in bed with her grandmother. Like, right. She could definitely be offended here. And it's not the first housewife to have a much older husband. And there's a lot of people who do. My husband is 10 years older than me. Right. It's like, but like when he's 60 and I'm 50, is somebody going to look and say like, really, Adam? Like, did you marry for love? Did you marry for, or did you marry for the money or whatever? Like the success that Jason has had and all of these things. I'd be like, fuck off. Like, no.
Yeah, I hate to speak ill of Will of the Dead, and I was a huge Anna Nicole girly. Loved Anna Nicole Smith so much. But when she married her husband, he...
Go ahead, please.
He was like not able to like eat on his own. He had live-in nurses. Like, he wasn't able to go out with her. They didn't vacation. They didn't enjoy dinners and nights out. Bronwyn has a beautiful life with this man. They go on vacations. They do things. They spoil each other. Like, for Brittany to try to like say that Bronwyn is like an Anna Nicole Smith is like apples and oranges. Like, she obviously has a romance and has like.
It's like, I hope you had a good stretch because that was a really big fucking reach here.
Yeah, way to stretch it out, Gumby. Like Brittany, no,
But
no.
also looking at the photos of Bronwyn when she met her husband, he was hot.
He's still a very handsome older
he's still a
man.
very handsome man. He's just older. But when she
He's
met
older.
him, she was like, "Oh, daddy."
Yeah,
She
and
she was like,
even as an old man, he keeps it together. He dresses beautifully. He's still very well groomed. Like, I
he's
mean,
not
he might have gout, but he keeps it together.
he's not on a feeding tube and like, oh, like, you know,
Like
like
he doesn't have like a poop pouch attached to him, like Anna
yeah.
Nicole did. Like, and again, not speaking ill will. Like, I hope they did love each other. I love Anna Nicole Smith.
I have a weird connection to Anna Nicole Smith.
I have a random one. I would love to know yours.
So when her son, Daniel,
Yes.
passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and they were trying to figure out where the estate goes after Anna passed away and Daniel was gone. Where does the rest of the money go? Does it go to Danny Lynn? Does Danny
Mm-hmm.
Lynn go to the old attorney guy or to her actual father? I believe
Mm-hmm.
his name is Larry or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
Larry. I almost said
Or
Larry Bird. He's a basketball player. Larry something, and then
Larry
it was
something.
Howard K. Stern.
Right. The attorney that that my dad used to fight to have custody of me in court is the same attorney that ended up getting Daniel's body to the Bahamas,
Oh
or
wow.
Anna Nicole's body to the Bahamas with Daniel. Yeah, Larry
Wow.
Burkhead. That's his name.
Burkhead. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I'll
yeah, yeah.
never forget Adam. Why did I just say Adam? Howard K. Stern. Like, because I grew up, like, I'm a huge Howard Stern girly. Like, I grew up listening to Howard Stern every day, read his books. So it was just like Howard K. Stern. I just thought that was so funny.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and that was just a, and he wanted the money too. He wanted to have access to the estate, and then of course you had Anna Nicole's mom who came into play and she wanted but everybody got greedy, honestly. And again, not to speak ill will of the dead. Anna Nicole Smith, you can watch her stuff and great, but even Anna Nicole Smith wanted the estate. That's why she got with the guy who had one foot in the grave and one foot in the bank. It's like,
I mean, she is the quintessential gold digger. I love it. I mean, own your shit. I love it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was just amazing, like amazing moment in pop culture history. That reality show was so before its time. Like that show was important for the fabric of reality TV that we have today.
and it's also too, like what you're saying, if you own it and own the gold diggingness and all of it. The only time that Anna Nicole Smith didn't own it was in court when his kids were fighting for the money. And she was like, no, I was in love with him. And it was like, but she was like, I will be damned if I didn't wheel this man down the aisle and marry him and spoon feed him and also change his little bag and all of
Mm,
the things. And you assholes are going to think that I'm not getting any of this money. You think I put all this time into it? She looked at it like a job. This is a
mhm.
job. That's my 401k. I'm not walking out of here without my retirement.
I wouldn't go to work without having a retirement plan. I mean, it's not dumb.
That's I don't know how this happened, you guys. But
Where
my point
how
is,
did we get here? But we love you, Anna Nicole.
we love you.
I do have one thing though. Can we please talk about the drag nightclub?
Yes.
That was so fun. I loved seeing all the girls get along. Like, and I thought it was hilarious that Bronwyn, like, they were all fighting in the Sprinter van. We love the Housewives, especially Salt Lake City and their Sprinter vans. It's just iconic. They're fighting. They get on a Sprinter, or they're fighting on the Sprinter van. They get to an event. Everything's fine. They go to the Harley Davidson. Everything's fine until it's not. They get on the Sprinter van. Hell breaks out. And then they go to the drag club, and everyone's like, oh, we love everything. And I just love how they can like go back and forth. And Bronwyn's head was spinning. She's like, how do these women like go from hating each other to being totally fine in 2 seconds? But that's how this works. And I love it.
So you're going to see something at the end of this season. It's at the finale when they film the finale. And there's this big, big explosive moment with Whitney and people finding things out. And a lot comes out. And Heather Gay is going to have a moment in this where we get another, she knows what landed her, the proof, receipts, timeline. People still talk about it. She used it as a storyline. All of this is going to come out. But when it does, right after they got done filming, there's photos and videos that come out from them at the airport all together. And Heather and Whitney are like back to being best friends on the same trip. So it's one of those kind of like, you guys know what you're doing. You know when to give a moment, and then you're like, okay, we did our job. Like, let's go have fun now.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And that's probably how it is. They're clocking in for a job. They're doing their thing, but like, hey, we're in Milwaukee. We should have fun while we're here. Like that's one of the things, like my husband does not enjoy the Housewives. However, he does like love like watching the atmospheres. Like they'll have like these dinners and these events in these gorgeous places, but these women just start like yelling at each other and it makes no sense to him and it makes no sense. But I kind of love that.
Yeah. And I do like a good drag show. I have a lot of fun at drag shows.
Oh gosh. And I loved hearing Whitney's herstory of drag and her love of drag. Like Whitney, I think it's like one of the most fascinating art forms. You need to learn how to do your makeup, your hair, patting your body, a lip sync, dancing. You have to be flexible. You have to know how to improv. You need to be quick on your feet to host. Like you have to have so many nuanced talents in drag. I think it's an amazing form of art. So I love Whitney for that. I loved seeing that. But oh my God, can we talk about Bronwyn's hot dog outfit? Should I say costume? Mary said costume, not couture.
Costume couture. Costume couture.
I appreciate Moschino. Like Moschino is known for having very cartoonish styles, like McDonald's French fries. They've had all wild designs. While a hot dog costume is a hot dog costume, the fact that at a drag show, all of those queens are tucking their hot dogs away to perform as women, and she's dressed up like a wiener, I found hilarious.
I honestly, let me see, guys, in case you didn't watch, let me see if I can bring up the hot dog costume. Yes, I can. Here it is.
I mean,
I just looked at it and I'm like, you just really got to love fashion, you know, like there's a story behind it for her. It makes sense for her. If you're somebody like me whose fashion is an H&M black shirt for $7, and you know, I'm not going to Paris Fashion Week, I'm not doing couture things, I would look at this and be like, this looks silly and kind of just dumb. But then once you hear the story and it's like, oh my God, no, I was in Milan and it was where I got that yellow diamond canary ring, canary diamond ring, whatever they're called. And then I also got this amazing little croissant. And then I went to this fashion show and my friend was joking saying, oh, you have to get that couture. It's amazing. And then that's why I got it. Like there's a story obviously here. So,
well, and fashion is playful. And fashion is one of those things you're never going to hit the mark every single time. And where I'm curious is from afar, it looks silly, but I wonder, I mean, it is Moschino. Like I would really love to see the fabric, the construction, the details. Like I would love to know the textures. Like how is the mustard placed on there? Like the little hat, that's the spout. I honestly, the fact that this went to a drag show made it okay for me. If this outfit went anywhere else, I don't think I would be able to defend it at all. But I love that this went to a drag show.
Can you imagine if she was just like, okay, like they're like, guys, we're going to go to this beautiful steakhouse tonight. It's going to be incredible. Like everybody just like wear your best. And then she showed up like that. Then it would be like, okay, what are we doing?
Or like to a baseball game, everyone's eating their hot dogs and she walks in.
Oh, that would be. Yeah, exactly. But
like, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I still like her. I really like Bronwyn. I think that she's doing great.
I would rather look at Bronwyn in a hot dog outfit, couture/costume, depending on who you ask, rather than watch Dorit come out after being late for an event, wearing just labels that somebody put on her, like looking like a billboard for name that designer. Like, this is interesting. Did it hit the mark from 99%? No. But at least it's interesting. Whereas Dorit is boring to me.
Right. This is making a moment. And people are going to talk about it. People are going to make memes out of it. People are going to post that. Who is that really, gosh, you guys are going to kill me for not remembering her name. But gosh, I could really use a hot dog right now.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Yes, Jennifer Coolidge. Like, people are going to make memes about this
Love
with that. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it gave what it needed to give. Like, and even with the heart-shaped, not costume, but fashion in the first episode, it gave what it needed to give. She's delivering with the fashions. We're talking about them.
Yeah.
And this is going to end up in the Bravo Museum at BravoCon this year. I'm telling you guys.
Of all of her outfits, like, I have the most questions about this.
Yeah. It's going to be, I'm telling you, and somebody said in the live chat earlier, does Bravo listen to the show? Every time I've been to BravoCon twice. And I probably had at least 5 or 6 different people who are like running behind the scenes at Bravo come up and be like, okay, like, what are you going to say about this? And we've seen, and like, thanks for the like, yes, they watch. So I'm telling you guys right now, if you see it in the Bravo Museum at BravoCon, it's because I sparked an idea. I'm just saying, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Okay.
That's my opinion.
That's my opinion. I think that, like, I was sitting there thinking about it, and I'm like, Lisa and Angie, we kind of talked about that argument. Whitney and Meredith, Bronwyn and her marriage. Like, I feel like we covered the majority of the drama.
Did we mention it all?
I think we mentioned it all in an hour and 11 minutes, 12
and
minutes.
We started late. We had technical difficulty. I apologize. I had him on mute, and I'm like, I can't hear you. And it's like, oh, if you have him on mute, you can't hear him.
I didn't know how to say mute while you couldn't hear me say mute. So I was like,
I don't know sign language. I apologize. That would have been a very helpful time.
Yeah. I'm like sitting there putting my finger over my mouth, like mute. And you're like, no, you're right. I can't hear you. It's quiet. Yes. And I'm like, no, it was like charades, you guys, but it's okay. And I also, by the way, just got home yesterday to Charleston, everybody. So setting up the camera and like making sure everything was charged. We're like kind of pushing things around right now. It's always something in this family. I'll tell you guys that. It's always something, but that's what keeps it interesting. Just like this freaking hot dog. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's that.
Imagine she ate a hot dog in a hot dog costume with a hot dog purse in a hot dog costume eating a hot dog. Is that cannibalism?
Is that like feeding a chicken an egg?
Right. Like, I mean, I know it's just a costume, but like, that's insane. This whole thing, Bronwyn's wild and I love her for it.
Okay, so wait, my next question too is, before we end up bringing up, and I'll bring this up right now, just because we're going to get there, but what are you most excited about looking into?
I'm sorry.
You're fine. What are you most excited about this season to come?
Hold on, let me get my dog.
I'll answer this first, you guys. I'm excited to see how this drama unfolds, but I want to hear what Ashley has to say.
About Orange County or?
No, for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like, what are you most excited about?
Oh my gosh. I'm excited, really, honestly, to see how you play into this, being that you've become my friend. I'm very invested in this journey. I'm anxious to see more of Mary. We know her son is going through some things. I'm anxious to see. We saw her and her son have a moment on camera earlier. I'm anxious to see that. Whitney's businesses, I'm very curious about. I'd love to see more Bad Weather. I love them together. I'm so happy Meredith and Lisa are back to being great friends again. They're filming together. They're enjoying each other's company. I want friendships. I don't thrive on the drama like a lot of other Bravo fans do. So I am very, very content with seeing friendships grow and people just doing off the wall, rich people stuff that we can't relate to.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. All right. So if they don't know Ashley, will you let them know where can they find you?
Of course. This is our Instagram page, Imani and I run, taste of underscore reality. Unfortunately, we saw Lydia from Orange County. Her mother passed. We recently reported on that. We actually got a really good, Adam, I don't know if you saw this, but we got a confirmation. We had proof receipts, screenshots from boots on the ground from one of our followers who wanted to remain anonymous. We did all the fact checking, and she was told it was a lot of what was confirmed about Jax, Brittany, and his friend, the basketball player Julian Sensley, I think his name is. One of our followers went to Jax's, hung out with Julian for a while, who had, said that he had hooked up with Lala, which was something that the Page Six article had said. But then she had run into Jax months later at an event, and she's like, "Oh, we were at your bar. You weren't there, but we hung out with your friend Julian." And at that moment in time, he's like, "Yeah, he's banging my wife." I know. And while she remained anonymous, she did give us some stuff to where we were able to go back and double check what she said, and everything she said cleared.
My God. The drama, guys. We're ready for the valley, but right now we're on Bravo overload with these shows.
It's too much. Too much is happening. Another friendship that we stand and is Katie and Jen from Orange County. We love seeing this developing friendship. So yeah, Instagram, always a fun place to be. We had a lot of comments from Housewives slipping in there to join the conversation, which we love. So keep it coming. We both are also at the website, tasteofreality.com. We really like to cover Bravo. We're Bravo girlies, but we also we dip our toes in a lot of the other reality shows. I'm already invested in House of Villains, which comes on right after Salt Lake City Housewives. I watched season 1 and really enjoyed it. This cast, while I wasn't too excited about a lot of the cast, I think they're really, really delivering already. So this is the website. This is what it looks like now. We're actually in the middle of a revamp. Somebody with a lot more talent than Imani and I is redoing the back end. So the website's just going to look different. It'll be organized more clearly, and functionality will be better, hopefully, moving forward. So stay tuned. We are happy. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary, and we're doing a little bit of growing and, just revamping.
I love that. Happy anniversary.
What was that?
I said happy anniversary.
Thank you so much. Our anniversary was October 1st.
I love that.
Thank you. And this is Mary, Queen of Scots. She's a little antsy, so I usually don't have her up here for lives for the obvious reason that we have today. But my husband is home, so we had to plan B it today.
Improvise. No, guys, thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to keep on uncovering what happens on Salt Lake City with you guys. Hopefully one day we will get Imani back. By the way, again, if you guys weren't here at the very beginning, sending all of the love, prayers, well wishes to everyone who was impacted by the hurricane. I know that in Florida right now, there's over 1.9 million residents out of power. There were over 100 tornadoes. It was insanity. It was just like, it's like the apocalypse down there. And a lot of people were impacted. So sending all the love over there. But we will be back. Today's Thursday. Hot Messy Topics is Friday.
Yeah.
Ashley, if you're around and you want to join,
I'm here.
We would love to have you.
I will be back. I have a lot to say about a lot of newsy things.
Hot Messy Topics. Here we come, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Smash the like button, show some love, and don't forget to follow Ashley and Imani at Taste of Reality. We love you guys. See you next time.
Love you guys. Bye, Adam's family.